Good evening, guys. In the last lecture, we had finished off with our simple index number, in which we had seen that there are three methods: the price index number, the quantity index number, and the value index number. Now, today, the next part that we are having is based on the weighted index number. When we talk about weighted index number, a small definition or in a small note that I would like to give you, please take it down. In this method, different commodities are assigned different weights so as to understand the relative importance of that commodity. Like, for example, suppose if the commodities that you are having over here is, let us say, food, house, and vehicles, and let's just consider the weights on a scale of 0 to 10, probably in this case. So the most important thing for us is the getting the food. Now, when you talk about house and the vehicles, even they are also important. We need that also for our day-to-day life. But probably we can also survive in a small house. We can also survive with a small vehicle or a small car. Probably if I cannot afford a car, maybe I can also use a two-wheeler, or probably someone can also use a cycle for daily commuting. चलो वो भी नहीं आपको अफोर्ड हो पाता है तो आप वॉक कर लो, पब्लिक ट्रांसपोर्ट यूज कर लो. So the most important thing that we need is the food for our day-to-day life. So I will give the weightage of 9 to the food. हाउस भी ज़रूरत है अपने को, चलो हाउस को we can give a weightage of, let us say, 6. Vehicle is the least important. Whether I have the vehicle or I don't have the vehicle, it does not matter. If I have a vehicle, तो कितना vehicles मैं afford कर सकता हूँ, एक vehicle, दो vehicle. So it completely depends that if you are able to afford it, you take it. If you are not able to afford it, you do not take it. तो vehicles को मैं सिर्फ 2 units का weightage provide करता हूँ. It is simple, like suppose if you are purchasing the things from the online store, probably आप Amazon से या Flipkart से कोई चीज़ें आपके लिए मंगवा रहे हो. So what you do is you see the ratings to that particular commodity or the item that you are purchasing online. So when you are talking about the ratings, probably you can talk about the rating of 3 star, 4 star, 4.5 star. या तो suppose if it is the best thing in the market, probably you can get a 5 star for that particular thing. So it is similar to the ratings that we are giving to the commodities, ki which is the most important, which is the least important. So weights are nothing but they are giving us the relative importance of those commodities that we are talking about. Now in general, quantities are used as weights. So what are the two quantities that you are having? You have the base year quantity Q0, you have the current year quantity Q1. So any one of the two quantities can be used as the weights so that I can calculate my weighted index number. Now see guys, the working of the weighted index number is similar to the value index number that we had seen in the last lecture. So in case if you have not studied the value index number, I would suggest you that study the value index number thoroughly. Then you once again come back to this part so that you understand it very nicely. For all those you guys who have already studied value index numbers thoroughly, please look ahead forward. It's a very basic thing. If you have studied that part, you will really enjoy it because it's very simple, guys. Yeah. So now see, in case of the simple index number, we had studied that P01 was summation P1 upon summation P0 multiplied by 100. Now when we are talking about the weighted index number, a slight change has been made in this particular formula. So what is the change? I will multiply the numerator with the given weight and the denominator also with the given weight. As I told you in the beginning, guys, the weights are the quantities and the quantities are Q1 and Q0. So depending on which quantity you are going to apply as per the question, we are having two different formulas for the weighted index number since you are having two different quantities. So in case if you talk about the first one, if weight is the base year quantity, so guys see how the formula changes over here. I will say over here that P01 is equal to summation P1 into Q0 in the numerator as well as summation of P0 into Q0 multiplied by 100. So it's very simple, guys. You have to multiply the current year price and the base year quantity as well as you have to multiply the base year price and the base year quantity. Whatever the entries that you get in the last two columns, just add both of them and you get this particular index number. Now there's a special name which is given to this index number that you are seeing right now. It was obtained by a statistician whose name is LASPEYER'S. Therefore, the name of the index number is LASPEYER'S price index number. And because it is LASPEYER'S price index number, it is denoted as P01L. In the same manner, guys, if we talk about the second one, and if I consider that the weight is Q1, obviously there are two quantities Q0 and Q1. So depending on that, we are having two formulas, one for Q0 and one for Q1. So guys, in case if I consider that the weight is the current year price Q1, so in the basic formula over here in the numerator and in the denominator, the weight will be replaced by the current year quantities to give you a very easy formula, my friends. P01 is equal to summation of P1 into Q1 upon summation of P0 into Q1 into 100. Now over here, once again, this was obtained by a very famous statistician whose name is PAASCHE'S. So it is PAASCHE'S price index number, and my friends, it is denoted as P01P. Now let's take an example for calculation of the LASPEYER'S and the PAASCHE'S index numbers. We'll take a few examples, guys, so that it becomes very clearly and thorough in your mind. And this kind of questions you will be asked for 3 marks, 4 marks in your exams. So guys, if you attempt these examples in your exams, there is a very less chances of the marks being deducted because the questions are very simple. Whereas compared to your theoretical questions, probably the marks are given less over there compared to the numericals. In numericals, you can get full marks, not in theoretical questions. So guys, I would suggest you just properly understand this and apply this in your exams. I can assure you on it that you will definitely get complete marks in this kind of examples. It's a question right there in front of you, and it's asking you to calculate the LASPEYER'S and the PAASCHE'S index number. Now, if you observe the given information carefully, there are four commodities P, Q, R, and S. You are given the information about the price and the quantity of base year and the price and the quantity of the current year for these four commodities. So, as per the notation, we will write this as P0 and Q0, and the current year price and quantity as P1 and Q1. So my friends, I have to find out the value of the LASPEYER'S price index number. So I will write over here P01L, which is equal to summation of P1 into Q0 divided by summation of P0 into Q0 into 100. Because LASPEYER was the person who considered the base year's quantities as weights. So if I consider the base year quantities as weights, it means that I have to replace the W in the original formula with Q0. So formula that I get summation P1 Q0 upon summation P0 Q0 into 100. So guys, for this particular formula, I have to make two extra columns, P0 into Q0 and P1 into Q0. So P1 into Q0 is for the numerator and P0 into Q0 is for the denominator. So guys, when you multiply the values of P0 and Q0, 12 into 2, that is 24, so you get this value as 240. 14 into 12, that will give you 168. 8 into 10, that will give you 80. And 6 into 15, that will over here give you, in fact 16 into 15, that will give you equal to 240. Now guys, just remember one thing, when you are doing the calculation of these columns, always try to write the values properly one below the another, that is units value below the units, tens value below the tens, and if any hundreds value then below the hundreds value, because then it will become very easy for you to add and subtract those values. In fact, I should not say subtract, you just have to add all these values, so you would be able to do that quite easily. Now let's do the working for P1 into Q0. So 18 into 20, 18 into 2 is 36, so that gives me 360. 12 into 21, that will give you 252 if you multiply both the values. 10 into 12, that will give you 120. And 15 into 30, that 20, that will give you equal to 300. So now friends, if I add all these values, I will get this value as 8. 6 and 4 is 10, 10 and 8 is 18, 18 and 4 is 22. And we are taking 2 carried. So 2 and 2 is 4, 4 and 1 is 5, 5 and 2 is 7. So this comes out to be 728. Let us do the working for the numerator value, that is P1 into Q0 value. These all zeros and plus 6, so this is 6. 6 and 5 is 11, 11 and 2 over there is going to be equal to 13. So take 3 over here, 1 carry. So that gives you 3 and 1 4, 4 and 2 6, 6 and 1 7, 7 and 3, that is 10. Now let us substitute the values in their respective positions. Numerator is P1 Q0 summation. So guys, this is your summation of P1 into Q0 and this is your summation of P0 into Q0. So then I get 1032 divided by 728 multiplied by 100. So guys, on solving and simplifying this fraction, you would get the answer as 141.76. That is your required value for P01L. Now guys, the next thing that we want is the calculation for the purchase index number. So if you remember your purchase index number, I'll give you the formula. It is P01P. We have to consider the weights as the current year's quantities. So it is summation of P1 into Q1 in the numerator, summation of P0 into Q1 in the denominator. So I will make a column for P0 Q1 and P1 Q1. So when you multiply P0 and Q1, so it is 12 into 24, that will going to give you 288, that is 288. P0 into Q1, 14 into 16, that will give you 224. P0 into Q1, so 8 into 18, that will give you 144. 16 into 25, that will give you 400. We will add this later on. Let us first of all multiply P1 and Q1. So again I have over here 18 into 24, that is going to give you 432. 21 multiplied by 16, that is going to give you 336. 12 into 18, that is 216. And the last 20 into 25, that is going to give you 500. So my friends, if I add the values of P0 Q1, the total will come out to be 1056. And if I add the values of P1 and Q1, I will get it as 1484. So friends, this P0 Q1 total is summation of P0 Q1. This is summation of P1 into Q1. So let us substitute these values in their respective positions very carefully. 1484 will be in the numerator, whereas 1056 will be in the denominator, multiplied by 100. Then guys, on solving this particular fraction and doing the required calculations, you will get the answer for the purchase index number P01P is 140.53. Again the question is same. We have to calculate the LASPEYER'S index number and the purchase index number. Once again my friends, the LASPEYER'S index number P01L is given by a very easy formula, summation of P1 into Q0 divided by summation P0 into Q0 multiplied by 100. Guys, if you write the formulas just twice or thrice with their corresponding names, it will become very easy for you to remember by heart these formulas. You don't have to sit and by heart these formulas separately. I would never suggest you to do that. Instead, what I would say is just solve these kind of 3-4 sums and automatically you would be able to remember all these formulas really thoroughly. So now when I want to calculate the numerator P1 into Q0, I make a column P1 into Q0. For the denominator, I make the column P0 into Q0. Now see guys, it does not matter in which order you are making the columns, whether you write P1 Q0 first and then P0 Q0, or you write P0 Q0 first and then you write P1 Q0. What matters is you substitute proper value in proper place in the formula. So you just have to remember the numerator is with the current year, the denominator is with the base year. Therefore the formula is P1 into Q0 for numerator, P0 into Q0 for denominator, and then multiply by 100. So it is very easy for us guys to remember it like this. So guys, when I multiply the values of P1 Q0, so this is your P1 value and Q0 value. So 11 into 20, 220, 12 into 10, that will give you 120. 5 into 30, 5 into 3 is 15, so 150. 50 into 4, 5 into 4 is 20, so that becomes 200. P0, Q0, so then in that case I have to multiply the P0 column and the Q0 column. So 8 into 2 is 16, so this gives me 160. 7 into 10 is 70. Then 3 into 30, that is 90. And again 2 into 50, that is 100. So if I add all these values, this is 0, 2 into 4 and 5, that is 9, and 3 and 3, that is 6. So this becomes 690. If I add P0, Q0 values, these are the zeros. 9 and 7 is 16, 16 and 6 is 22, 1 and 1 is 2, 2 and 2 is 4. So that becomes 420. So in that case, the numerator, my friends, will be equal to 690 divided by the denominator value, which is equal to 420 multiplied by 100. So when you simplify this, you can cancel off both the zeros. 69 and 42, they both can be divisible by 3, and then later on you can multiply by 100 and simplify the fraction. So on calculating this, you will get the answer as 164.28. So then guys, for the purchase index number, the formula that you have, P01 P, numerator summation of P1 into Q1, denominator summation P0 into Q1 multiplied by 100. So Q1 is common for numerator and denominator both, because purchase was the person who used the current year's quantities as the weights. So numerator P1, denominator P0. So P1 into Q1 and P0 into Q1. So see, it is very easy for us to remember and by heart like this. So I have to make a column for P1 into Q1 and then the column for P0 into Q1 for the numerator and the denominator. So when I multiply P1 into Q1, I get 11 into 15, which comes out to be 165. 12 into 10 comes out to be 120. 5 into 25 comes out to be 125, and the last 4 into 35 comes out to be equal to 140. Now P0 into Q1, this is what that you have to do the working very carefully, first and the last column. So people tend to make a mistake while multiplying the first and the last column, क्योंकि बीच का numbers multiply कर देते हैं लोग बहुत बार. So you should not do that. Be careful. Let me take 5 seconds, 10 seconds extra, but then the working has to be correct. 8 into 15, that will give me 120. 7 into 10 will give me 70. Let us write it properly, one below the another. 3 into 25, that gives you 75, and 2 into 35, that gives you 70. So if I add these values, this value is going to be 5 and 5, 10. 6 and 2, 4, that is 10. 10 and 4, 14. 14 and 1 carry, that was 15. So it is 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1 carry 5. Over here, this is 5. 7 into 3 is 21. So 21 and 2 is 23. So 3 comes down, 2 carry, 2 plus 1 is 3. So that becomes 335, and the numerator is 550. So I will get over here 550 divided by 335 multiplied by 100. So my friends, on cancelling the numbers with 5 and then dividing the remaining values, you will get the answer as 164.17 as your purchase price index number, and the LASPEYER'S price index number P01L is equal to 164.28. So guys, for doing this much calculation, you are going to get 4 marks in your exams. So it's always better if you do it this kind of exams in your, this kind of sums in your exams, in fact, sorry. So guys, that's about your LASPEYER'S and the purchase index numbers. That are the two weighted index numbers that you have to study and practice thoroughly, so that your entire index numbers working becomes very easy for you. In the next lecture, I will be explaining you all the questions of your exercises. Till then, I would suggest please practice this kind of examples so that it becomes very easy for you to solve these sums.